everyone, it's take 2 of this video, day 51. It's about 10 o'clock at night. It's kind of ironic that I was about 5 minutes in and talking about the symptoms that my son's been experiencing, and he got paranoid about what I was saying and knocked on the door and came in and asked me some questions. So I had to shut the camera. I should have just let it keep going to sort of prove my point. But today's been a really bad day. I have to, it feels like I psychologically have to pay for consuming alcohol for a solid 3 days after I drink. I get very depressed. I used to get actually very suicidal. You know, my mind would go there. Not that I would have killed myself. It's just, you know, those thoughts take over. You know, it gets dark. I'm not going to go into details, but it gets very dark. Basically, I woke up around 8 a.m. and I lay in bed till about, I don't know, 12:30. I got up, ordered a pizza and a cheesesteak sub to have with my son, and then I ate and came back to bed. And he wanted to hang out, so I went out and we watched Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams, which is something that people with schizophrenia should not watch. The last episode was exactly what it's like to live with somebody with schizophrenia, where they're paranoid that all of this stuff is happening. They see things people don't see. It's just, I'm not going to like give too much away, but except for it was happening in the show, but if with people with schizophrenia, it doesn't really happen. None of their fears are justified. So it's very triggering for them. He probably shouldn't have been watching it. I didn't realize how bad it was when I was watching it. But he's actually read quite a bit of Philip K. Dick's books, and it turns out that he had schizophrenia. So, I mean, it all made sense to me. And my son's a really good writer, and I told him he should just channel all those fears and paranoia into something creative. You know, I mean, I don't know, he might not feel comfortable even saying what he's thinking. I know the schizophrenia seems like it could go two ways. There is delusions of grandeur, think Kanye West, you know, where people actually think they're a deity. And there are people who believe that they are damned and they should be punished and they're going to hell, or they're being possessed, or they're doing something to harm people. And my son definitely falls into the second category, where he thinks he's done all these horrible things and he's never done anything wrong. But you know, if something seems very real to somebody, you can't convince them that it's not. It's like, you know, if you're looking at, like, you know, like I'm holding a bottle of water, and it would be like somebody trying to convince me that this was not a bottle of water and I wasn't holding anything. I mean, you think about it like it's like that. Like, you see something, you feel something, you hear something, and someone's just trying to tell you that it's not true. And that's why a lot of the paranoias then turned on your caregiver or the person who's telling you it's not true, because you don't believe them, and then they think that you're out to get them. So, you know, he's been scared of me a lot, and it's, you know, it's just a horrible feeling. So, you know, you're told I mean, I need therapy to deal with this, but you're told not to deny the questions about the psychoses that they are experiencing. And but like, what am I supposed to say? Like, yeah, all this is true. Like, I just try to take it. I just basically say, like, this is your illness. I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm sorry that you're feeling this. I just try to keep it kind of general like that. But so there was this, I was on Facebook for a few minutes just out of boredom. Like, I didn't post, I didn't read any of my updates. Like, I've got like 100 notifications that I was just on it for a second. And I'm in a group called Parents of Kids with Schizophrenia. And a woman was talking about her son was diagnosed at age 18, and he's now 38, and he's been homeless off and on. That's actually when my son came in and knocked on the door and came in. And he goes, "Did you just say I was 38? I was like, "No, I was talking to somebody else." And then I stopped the video and had to start it over. So, like, he's on the guy's on Social Security and living in a house, but he had been homeless off and on. And people who think that other people who are living off of the government are lazy are just absolutely full of shit. This isn't laziness. My son absolutely cannot work, and it's not much money either. Like, it's enough to cover like bare necessities, and that's it. Like, no one's living high off the hog off the government to eat. Like, it's just, and it's such a tiny percent of your taxes. Most of your taxes are going towards military spending, but so she, had been, so it's been 20 years since her son had gotten this diagnosis, and she said, "Here are some tips that helped me." And number one just immediately broke me. She said, "You in no way caused this, and to be gentle with yourself. Take care of you. If you get overwhelmed, get psychiatric care for yourself. Be an example to your child that it's okay to get help." And she goes on to talk about other things, but I mean, that just like, I immediately started crying when I read that, because I just, like, I took him to an early, it's an actual psychosis clinic that's run by the University of Maryland. So everything was free because it was research based, which my son would never ever consent to research. And at his best, there's no way. And actually going to see a therapist is very trigger. Like, I can't even take him to see a therapist, ironically, because it's so triggering. Because he just doesn't want, the last thing somebody who thinks people can read their mind and who thinks that, people can hear their thoughts, and they don't want anyone digging around in their head. Like, it's hard for me to even get him to see the psychiatrist. And we're only there for like 10 minutes. But so this was the second therapist that we saw just since we moved to Maryland. I mean, he had like 5 or 6 in Miami that didn't work out. But and they just strictly deal with people with schizophrenia. But I was sitting in a therapy session with him, and I just broke down and started crying. And she asked me what was wrong. And I just said that I just feel like this is my fault. Like, if I've done something that I shouldn't, or I didn't do something that I should have, or maybe I shouldn't have homeschooled him, or just there was something that I've done to cause this. And she told me that every single person that had sat where I was sitting, every single parent says the exact same thing. So if you have a child who is suffering or going through anything like this or anything psychological, you didn't do it. It's an illness. There was nothing I could have done to prevent it, but it's not gonna stop me from feeling guilty. And it just feels like it's just never gonna end. And that was one of her tips. She's like, don't dwell on what you think might be or some of the outcomes of this. You know, it's just like he's on the most like powerful antipsychotic out there, and it's helped. But oh my God, he's so far from being functional, you know, like he can't go to school, he can't work, he can't be out in public, he can't do anything social. Like sometimes we've had to get up and like leave restaurants because he just starts to freak out that people can read his mind. So, but anyway, I guess this has nothing to do with my weight loss, although it just all psychologically is tied together. So today, you know, obviously I had one slice of pizza and a cheesesteak sub, and, you know, not the greatest food in the world, but that's all I ate. So, you know, my calories shouldn't have been too bad. But I had a great comment from somebody on a video that I'd done previously saying that I was planning on doing the Atkins shakes, and it was the second day, and I started eating that day because exercise made me very, very hungry. And this person said that to drink just an extra shake before I go to the gym, and it really makes a huge difference. And they lost 100 pounds just doing Atkins shakes. And I was so inspired by that. Like one, great job, great, like, wow, you know, and I was just floored by that accomplishment. And two, great advice, because I never even thought about like, okay, maybe 5 shakes isn't enough, you know, maybe just 6 or 7, they're 160 calories each, and 1 or 2 net carbs, and it's liquid, so it doesn't seem to stick around as long as food does. Like it seems to cause a faster weight loss than, you know, if I were to eat that many calories for some reason. I don't know why, but that could all be in my head. But it just got me thinking that, okay, maybe I can, you know, I feel like I'm just trying the same thing over and over and over, but like maybe I can do the shakes. So what I'm gonna do is, starting tomorrow, have like 7 shakes, and I think that would be, I'm not even going to attempt to do math in my head right now. Fuck, I don't have, so 7, a dumb calculator. No, I don't want to rate this calculator. So 160 times 7 equals... All right, that's 1,120 calories. So, I mean, not many, but enough to survive. And they seem to make me feel better because they have a ton of vitamins in them. So it feels like if I'm getting any... Like, obviously, I'm not getting what I need to survive off of a fucking cheesesteak sub. Like, there's a lot of vitamins I'm missing. So I'm going to do that, and I'm very, very motivated by the fact that somebody else like lost 100 pounds, you know, like I asked them how long they did it and what kind of workouts they were doing. You know, I haven't had a response yet, but I'm just really, really floored and motivated and impressed. And you know what, if my thinking is, if it can be done, I can do it. You know, there's no reason, like, it's all psychological. It's all psychological. If I'm getting enough to survive and getting all of my nutrition, then it's wanting to eat is purely psychological. And you know what? It's been a struggle because I'm not in the strongest psychological state that I could be in, obviously, but nothing succeeds like success. And I had another comment that said, after the weight loss, the motivation follows. Like, just fucking fake it till you make it, and other cliches. I'm just tired. I took extra Klonopin today because I had a lot of anxiety and depression, and I just wanted to calm down. So I'm really tired, and although I do get a second wind at night no matter what, so hopefully I'll be able to sleep okay. And I hope I'm not getting sick. I'm losing my voice, and I didn't realize I was losing my voice until I started this video. And I've been coughing all day, but I don't feel sick. I don't feel like I have any other symptoms. Like, it might just be sort of detox symptoms from having had 15 drinks 2 days ago. So, and I've been eating really shitty food too. So I don't know. I probably detoxing from that. But anyway, I've got 8 days until my weigh-in, and I'm going to start the shakes tomorrow, and I'm at least going to try to do it till my next weigh-in. I mean, you know what? Like, honestly, like, I'd like to just fucking do them until I lose the weight I need to lose. Like, that would be amazing. And there's no reason why I can't. I just went over that, though. It's just a psychological thing, but obviously I can't drink, which is really upsetting because I had fun. I let loose. I wouldn't have had as much fun if I didn't drink, but going through 3 days of depression afterwards, and not being able to get out of bed, and not being able to go to the gym, and eating too much because I think it's going to make me feel better. Like, I can't afford it psychologically and physically and health-wise. Like, it raises my blood pressure, and just it derails my goals. So sorry this video is so long. I'm just really depressed today and just wanted to get it out. But if you suffer from depression, don't fucking drink, I guess is my advice. And if your kid has a mental illness, it's not your fault, and every parent struggles, and it's not easy. Like, you have all this hope. Like, he's so smart, and his teachers always told him, like, I homeschooled him from the time he was 7, so kindergarten, first, second grade, and even like when he was in preschool, like his teachers would always pull me aside and just tell me like how incredibly intelligent he was. And I mean, I could see that. The reason I took him out of school at 7 was he was testing on a 7th grade reading level, and they weren't letting him check out books that were beyond 2nd grade, because then what would he read later? Like, it's so stupid. Like, these things, like, he was too smart to read 2nd grade books. And there were other reasons. I didn't want to send him to public schools, and the only private schools that were in my area were Christian schools, and it was 2004 election, and I was the only one who was voting for John Kerry, and everyone was all fucking hard for George W. Bush, and I just didn't understand any of that. And it was just like, they all seemed like such good people, but it was all religion, and I was the odd man out. And Dalton and I are both atheists, and it was a bad fit. So I'm like, well, I can at least do as good as this. So anyway, I didn't even mean to go into all that, but love you guys. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the subscriptions, and you're keeping me going. And the person who lost 100 pounds and commented, like, I think that you're really going to, that comment's gonna like turn things around for me. I really do, because it's giving me the fire and motivation to stick with something that I'm going to see quicker results, because I'm getting very, very depressed because I'm just floundering back and forth between the same 5 pounds. So I want to really see results. I want to be able to fit my freaking fat jeans. I can only fit my fat jeans right now. That's it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go on for 20 minutes. Love you guys. Peace out. Bye.